Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Dylan Box.
One more.
One more to go. I'm your host, Ryan Harsh.
And I'm Chris LeRoy.
And we are a video cast where we talk about one of our favorite artists ever living, Bob Dylan. We usually just, kind of pick an album in isolation and discuss it. However, with this episode, we're doing something a little bit different. Where we're going to take what we call our 1-2 punch of a Dylan, and we're going to pick one album, followed in sequence by another one that we feel is stronger or just as strong or a great companion piece. Together they make a wonderful package. So I've done mine. Now I'm going to give it to you, Chris. Why don't you show us, grab the box there and pull out what you think is one of Dylan's 1-2 punches.
For me today is a very well-known album, Blood on the Tracks, which was followed up. So this kind of into 74 and then 75 hedging into 76.
Right.
Is Desire.
Oh, yes.
And it's fun to talk about artists who have a series of great albums. Really judge some of the greats by them having a string of just superlative works. And how hard is it to do one A+ album, right? Much less have 2 or 3 things in a row.
Record almost.
Yeah, and you could go back into to Dylan's early, anyway, Blonde on Blonde, those 3 albums in a row, Bring It On Back Home. Those are 3 records that are just so powerful and cement him as this preeminent artist of that era. But after that, there's kind of not a lull. There's still great albums, but they're not as celebrated until you get to Blood on the Tracks. 1974, and you figure Dylan's already contributed some wonderful music in between that time. But it's an album that was so powerful, so artistically successful, tells such an seemingly personal story that's every bit as powerful as the old Dylan. They're saying, well, I like the 60s Dylan, this album. Everyone could agree that this stands completely on par with that music, if not only maybe a step better, in that he's a more mature artist and he's seemingly speaking personally. It's an album that almost seems like it's done from the inside.
Yeah.
One of the wonderful books that you might be interested in tracking down is called A Simple Twist of Fate. Bob Dylan and the Making of Blood on the Tracks by Andy Gill and Kevin
Odegaard.
It's small printing for me. Kevin being one of the musicians in Minnesota who plays uncredited on this album.
Okay.
You get this whole arc about how this record was made in New York.
He made it twice. Much,
He made this album, had it in New York, big time producer. Covers printed, liner notes done.
Yeah.
And he keeps calling him up and saying, I'm not sure about this record. I'm not sure about this record. Other folks that he had played the music for found it, the original recordings, the New York recordings, fascinating. There's some very stark, just him and his guitar versions of these songs. Joni Mitchell had told him this is the best thing you've ever done. But he felt the need to go back. And in this book, you get a wonderful sense of where he ends up. Bob's a serious guy. It was a serious night. This was very quiet, deliberate letting out of all the inside of him. I really think of the album as a chance for people who were my age to embrace Dylan, because we were too young in some ways to embrace him fully when this music was going on in 65 and 66.
Right.
So
as you were coming of age and maturing.
I'm 11 years old. I'm still young, and I'm hearing, some songs on the radio but I'm not, I already loved his music, but I wasn't absorbed in the way I would be at another age. So this album comes out, and this is the Dylan for my age.
Mm.
I think in some ways he found himself again artistically and put a stamp on what he was going to be. Because I'm this preeminent songwriter and I can make songs do anything.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be the rock me. It doesn't have to be the Nashville skyline me or something. It really doesn't make a difference.
Right.
The band can shift. But whatever my vision is for this sound, I'll know it when I hear it.
And he never really toured behind this album, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, he just, I think it took enough work to get the album done.
Yeah.
So, 1-2 punch,
There
right
you go.
after it,
Okay.
here comes the album that's much less critically acclaimed in a way. But it was an enormous hit.
Yeah.
It was the #1 album. And you had folks, again, myself, I remember me and John Hickman talking about this album intensely, about how important this album was to us. Well, it's not it's not Blonde on Blonde, but it is Dylan saying, okay, I found my artistic voice.
Right.
I did the Inside album. Now from then on,
Mm-hmm.
it's really Dylan's music from him going outside.
Right.
And so I'm going to find other bands and
Ah.
other sounds. He wanted to make something that sounded completely different from Blood on the Tracks.
Absolutely.
Even to go back to the Village.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look at this lady. She's playing the violin.
Playing
Hey, you
fiddle in the
want
corner of New York.
you want to come and play on my band?
Yeah.
How about you guys? Jacques Levy, you want to write some songs together?
Yeah.
Let's get together and listen. He says, instead of this very singular, I'm the vision, I'm going to reach outside of myself and collaborate.
Right.
Find some people to play. Put this band together. At the beginning, it was too big.
Mm-hmm.
He had all sorts of people in the studio. Eric Clapton was
kind
in
of a
there.
mess.
It's a big mess.
Yeah.
Too much music.
Yeah.
But out of it, when it all got went away, you have this story songs about things that are outside.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about, if you see her, say hello. It's about Hurricane Carter. It's about Joey
Gallo.
the mobster.
Yeah.
It's about it's Mozambique. It's about there's almost kind of a whirlwind tour of the different things that he takes on as these stories,
Right.
and it's refreshing.
It is.
In its environment, it has he creates a place and a meaning and a sound that we had never heard from him
Right.
before, and I think for the rest of his time,
Would we hear it since?
well, not so much.
Right. Yeah. Because
Not really.
the band that he played with on this, they didn't play with him again, right? Like it was just after the tour and everything.
Yeah.
That was it.
That was it. But that tour,
Yes.
again, that it leads into that tour that has that punch and energy. So
Right.
so and you look in terms of a 1-2 punch, he created this artistic vision of himself, resurgence, kind of planted his feet and said,
Right.
I'm Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
I can write some pretty tough songs, and now
Sure.
I'm going to play with someone seesawing on that.
If we look
Out of
at
tune,
the record cover, I'm trying to put
violin.
this up without it falling over, but
Yeah.
if we look at the covers, one Dylan's looking this way, Dylan's looking that way. Like, what do you want? But he's looking back, and then he's looking forward, right?
Ooh, it's sort of a tale of two lands. This personal place,
Yeah.
and then so he's looking out to the
Mhm.
future.